The drone is in the air. I'm gonna give someone a free story idea. Maybe I'll try to write it, but someone should try to write this story. It's based off of the job I used to have. So the job I used to have, anyone could work there. Like, they were considering putting a check-in station, converting one of the offices up front to a check-in station where they could put an officer up there because we had so many people that needed to check in. Every week the joke was that you could just walk down from the jail and get a job where I worked. That you could, that they bust people in from the jail. That's one thing. The other thing is, no one told the truth. There were no honest people there. And that's more of a criticism of the higher ups and less of the people where I was, because literally everyone lied about what we could do up top. So of course everyone lied at the bottom, because that's the culture that they create. So we made parts for cars. These parts were continually bad. We were continually told that we needed to get numbers, even though that we knew those parts existed. I mean, we knew those parts existed in a warehouse somewhere, so why are we trying to hit numbers? Why can't we send the old parts out? Another thing was that the parts were continuously bad, and instead of adjusting the parts and the machines that made the parts so that the parts were right, we would adjust the machines that test those parts so that the parts read good so that we could send them out. So we would adjust our quality department according to our bad parts, not adjust our bad parts according to the quality tests that we set up. We were told that we were always behind, so that we had to work weekends, even though we knew that there were thousands of parts sitting somewhere. This is what we were told. We were told that there were thousands of parts sitting somewhere, and so we will not have to work overtime. And then the following week, we would be told that we were thousands of parts behind, so that we were made to work overtime. We were constantly told that the company was changing its policy and was not going to have us work overtime anymore, and then we would be working overtime constantly. So the story idea for me, standing around being me and talking to other people standing around being them, I was like, what if, and this is the story, what if we had all done something so bad that we were there because of it, that there's no room in the jails, they couldn't send us to prison. So what they did was they hauled us off and they brainwashed us. And that everyone in that company had been made to believe that their families were their families and where they lived was where they lived, that was their home, and that we had to show up every day. When in reality, that was just their way to contain us. So the parts that we made were never real. And it's partially true, because the parts we made were often sent to be disassembled and melted down to just be made. Like the metal that we used never left the building. So the idea is that they just constantly lied to us and that nothing ever left the building. The shipping department loaded up trucks that went around the block and came back and unloaded parts that we were told were bad, which has happened. That they got cleared to somewhere, and then they found a single bad part, and so we had to search every part, and so we'd break down our entire line when production was the most important thing, to go through every full box of parts, because we had to find the bad one. So that's the story idea. Someone who's done something, and then you wonder, like, what did we do? What did we do to deserve the brainwashing and labor that we've incurred here? Like, what's the deal? So, maybe the backstory would be that someone finally investigates. Maybe we'd have people come in that were the client maybe they were actually the people who were in charge of our captivity. It's a crazy story, and there are holes in that little explanation, but it's a pretty fair explanation of where I used to work. Like, I'll never understand it. We were made to work overtime. We were made to feel like it was our fault for not meeting production, and so we had to work 7 days a week, literally months on end sometimes. But the people in the department, and I'm being vague for a reason, like I'm not trying to call out specific people or specific departments. If you work there, you know who it is, but I'm not trying to just go whole hog here. But wouldn't you think the people on the weekend who didn't have to show up were the people in charge of keeping the machines going? So it was our job, and our jobs have been dumbed down so much to where it was like, put the thing in and push a button, and that was it. That was it. So how's that my fault? Like, every time the machines are running, I'm going to get what you need me to get, but when I'm forced to be here on the weekend, it's my fault. But we stand around half the time because the machines are down. Where's those people? Those people never had to be there. So it just added to the lie. Like, okay, what did we do? Like, what did we do to be forced to be in this position? Anyway, I think it's a good story idea. It would be a great way to find out, like, to find a character's way out of that story. To find, ask the right person, finally ask enough people the right questions where he gets put in a situation where he can find out really find everyone's secret file. Maybe, like, my best friend Bob at work did this and this and this, and this was the person in charge of his interrogation and brainwashing. It's very Orwell. Because there were very much questions that we couldn't ask. There were ways to speak. There were ways to ask questions so that you could get somewhat real answers. But literally everyone lied. Like, imagine working in a place where everyone in charge lies, and you know it, and they know it. It'd be a good story, though.
Yeah, it's a whole day thing. You get to lunch, and they get to just spend some time with the cops and get a chance to go out and shop for the holiday season.
Huh. Well, that's cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, I thought it was really cool because Cam's my boy. Okay, I just love the kid.
Yeah.
And when his name came up there, I thought this would be a neat thing, but I needed to get permission from you first.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, he'll freaking love that.
But that's kind of what I thought. Now, the sheriff's department will be calling you about it, okay? Because I don't set it up. They set it up. Okay. Okay?
That's awesome. Yeah, thanks.
Excellent, Mr. Cred. You have an excellent day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
So that was the school. That was actually the vice principal. Sorry, sir, for recording the conversation, but it was a great thing. Like, happy things, I feel like they would be okay with this. But shopping with a sheriff or something, anyway. Apparently the sheriff's department puts this on, and Cam's name was drawn out of a hat to spend the day with the sheriff, go get breakfast, and go shop with a cop. I don't know. How awesome is that? I'd like to take this opportunity also to... I'm one of those people that's like... Well, hold on. Back up. I'm one of those people that... I don't know. It's not that I don't like cops, but, Anyway. But I got pulled over recently. And I was... going too fast in a slow zone. Anyway, so I got pulled over, and of all people to get out of the car, it was someone that I have known personally for a significant portion of my childhood, and I was probably the biggest dick to him than anyone. We were also really good friends. It's weird how that works out with kids, right? But anyway, I saw him get out of the cop car, and I'm like, gosh, of all people, this dude's not gonna give me a break. But he did. He did. He was like, where are you going? I said, I'm going home. And he said, we'll go home more slowly. And he just rolled out because it was him. And anyway, That was awesome. If you ever see this video, dude, thank you. You know who you are. That was awesome of you. What are we playing today?
Peppa Pig Center with her friend right here. And Susie's sheep, Peppa Pig, and the monster. And Susie.
The monster.
And the Peppa Pig light.
The mansion.
It's the most playhouse they can play.
Cool.
And I'm playing with them right now without Cred.
Let's go clean up that beautiful face of yours. You got junk and candy and food. So we can go to this game. Cool?
I can't find them.
That sucks. Come on, Addy. For real.
Found one.
Cool. It shouldn't be that hard to keep track of 2 pairs of shoes, man. Just saying. We're getting ready to go to Dill's game. Addy needs her face cleaned up.
And Drew came to our school and gave us this
Cool.
dictionary.
Dictionary. I love dictionaries. I used to have a big fat dictionary myself. And a big fat thesaurus. And I actually used to look words up all the time in it. For real.
Hey! Let me have it.
Okay, you want it?
What is that?
It's gonna be on this side. Come get me! Come Okay. But look on that side. Okay.
That's what we're waiting for.
3, 2. Okay.
Book.
Take it. Addy, don't do that. Okay. Cause it's a book.
Hey, you want to play the cheater game?
No. Later. We're about to leave, Addy.
go with Rick, okay.
No, I guess